Nicholas Kirkland's Neurological Warfare and United States Experiments Part 8. In this episode, we will summarize Nicholas Kirkland's article, but first, let us complete the list of human experimentation the U.S. are working on according to Mr. Kirkland. To test repetitive focused lasering of skin with radioactive force to see whether it can cause cancer or other skin diseases. To test the ability of the handler's computer software to make the targets hear particular suggested words substituted for regular words on TV and on the radio. To determine the type of target most likely to trust the advice of the handlers. To see whether handlers can cause aberrant sexual thoughts and behavior in the targets. To see if targets can be made to think about dishonest actions when the targets are perfectly honest. To see whether targets can be made to perform actions outside of their regular routine. To see whether handlers can confuse the target in his geographical orientation and movements. To see whether a target can be made to perform an action that he will no longer remember afterward. To see whether a target can be estranged from close family members by suggestions about those loved ones. To see whether a target can be conditioned to respond to certain code words to act out a response desired by the handlers. To see if a target can be hypnotized through music, particular sounds, or even at the sight of particular objects or pictures. To see whether domestic pets of targets can be made to react to certain sounds or frequencies. To determine whether handlers can cause certain diseases in targets through their actions or the power of suggestion, that is Alzheimer's, asthma, prostate problems. To see if there is a particular hour of the day or night during which the target will be more vulnerable to brain mining by the handlers. To see whether physical effects such as electrical like jolts and vibrations can condition a target to release or reveal thoughts, and to what extent. The list of possible experiments is endless. Perhaps that is why the number of targets does not diminish but instead grows ever larger, for as neurological research broadens, the need for guinea pigs increases. We are only seeing the beginning of these evil and inhuman neurological experiments. There will be many more in the future. In summary, this article makes two main points. 1. That the United States government and its military-industrial complex lies behind much or perhaps most of the ESMC. If that were not true, the government would investigate targets' complaints. 2. That the ESMC conducted on targets represents experiments aimed at developing and/or strengthening the United States neurological warfare capability. I believe that this article and the former one make my case. As mentioned earlier, other countries are also deeply involved in mind control experimentation. One of the objectives of those experiments is to stir up racial, religious, and ethnic animosity. I suspect that the recent ethnic conflicts in Rwanda, Serbia, Sudan, and, more recently, Georgia stem directly from those experiments. This article is published on September 10, 2008 and written by Nicholas Kirkland. For information about Mr. Kirkland's publications and information about mind control, targeted individuals, organized stalking, electronic harassments and human experimentations, visit www.educate-yourself.org. Also, visit www.targetedindividualscanada.wordpress.com for more information.